This week on the podcast, Carrie and I are sharing our tips and tricks for how we prepare for vacation. What are the rituals we do before we go, and are there any we do when we get home? Stay tuned to find out. Hi, I'm Francine, and you're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast, a podcast where our first topic of conversation will always be Disney. I've been a Disney fan for as long as I can remember, and I'm determined to bring more of that Disney magic into my everyday life. So if you need a little extra pixie dust in your day, you've come to the right place. Thanks so much for listening, and let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
Hi. Do we tell people this is take three?
Take three.
Take three. We had some technical difficulties followed by a cat break-in. I don't know what else to call it, but this is take three of us trying to... We haven't even gotten 5 minutes into the podcast recording yet this week.
Like 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Didn't get past the hello.
You'd never know that we'd recorded 97 or 98 of these.
Or whatever.
Or
90s,
whatever.
almost 100.
Almost 100. I know. Well, so we're almost at 100. So let's remind everybody again. Please send in a note if you'd like us to read it, or send in a voice clip to us. We really want to make sure that we can, get that on the 100th episode. We're getting excited. We're starting the preparations for 100th episode. It's cool.
It's exciting.
It is. So how's your week been, Carrie?
It's been all right. Busy.
Busy?
But nothing. I don't think anything too overly exciting going on.
No. I know.
We're back.
Yep.
To talk to you guys again.
Very true. Yes, it was another very unmagical week at the unmagical job. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's funny because my friend at work asked me if the more I talk about Disney stuff, does the unmagical job seem more unmagical? It's almost like it's splitting, right? Because the Disney stuff brings me such joy. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about that because it's just two different things in my life. One that's not really so happy, and one that's like totally over the top happy, makes me smile and laugh, and yeah, it's fun.
Just keeps you're balanced.
This is it. Well, I'm a Libra, so I'm all about the scales of balance, if you believe in that astronomy stuff. So I'm always right and wrong, left and right. I'm all about the balance. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. See, it works out. And I don't think there's been any real new news in the Disney community this week. There wasn't really anything that was like earth shattering, like a couple restaurants open, things like that. But nothing huge. No. That we were going to cover. Because we actually had, this was kind of a fun topic that we were talking about we were going to do. And it came as a great idea. And then we started like thinking, how do we even know how to do this? So...
Get to it, Fran. Get to it.
The topic is... what are our sort of pre-trip and post-trip rituals? Like, what are the things we do to get ready for our trips, and what do we do when we get home?
Right.
And then we were kind of talking about whether we like, it used to be clockwork for us. Like, I don't know about you, but I could do it like with my eyes closed, walking backwards. It didn't. Like, if I knew I was leaving, because we usually fly out maybe on a Saturday morning. And if we were flying out on a Saturday morning, I didn't even really think about it until Friday.
You had it figured. You knew what to do.
Yeah, because it was such a routine. And now I'm a little worried that when I finally get to go, I'm...
You've lost your touch.
Am I going to do it wrong? Like... So we were, okay, so because we prepare very differently for trips too, though. Yep. You and I.
That's why it's a good topic, I think, because we do different things.
Balance.
Yes.
Opposites.
But then we started laughing that, oh my goodness, wait till we do. We're telling everybody our rituals, and then when it gets to the time when we actually have to pack again, are we gonna know what to do if we lost our touch? Are we gonna go there and have no socks or something?
It's quite possible. And because I always go on vacation with the premise of, as long as I have the stuff that's critical that I can't buy, anything else, whatever. If I forget it, the worst thing is I'm going to have to spend the money and buy it, right?
Right. Says the person who doesn't want to leave the bubble, yet would get frustrated when Amazon can't deliver her replacement missing items immediately.
So imagine we were going on a trip next week. What would be the first? So next Saturday, hallelujah, we're on our way. We're going to Florida. What would be the first thing that you would do? And how far in advance would you do it?
Well, I'm the opposite of you. I have everything planned, but I just started a little bit early. Like, I will get it all figured out a week before and then not think about it until the day before. So I would...
But are you packing it a week before, or are you writing it down? Like, you actually make a list. Like, you write it down.
So if we were going...
Like, imagine we're going in 7 days. Let's say 7 days.
Okay, if I would have
Is that enough time for you?
Of course it is.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I need to do my inventory. So what I usually do is probably get a mishmash between the pre and the post rituals. But I have like a bin that has a lot of stuff that I just use for Disney. So I've got a lot of stuff in there. So I probably would do it. I would, if I was going away.
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean a bin?
Bin.
Like you have like a tote storage,
like a Rubbermaid bin, like a purple bin. Yes, a bin.
Okay.
I have a bin, and because it's been so long, I think the very first thing, if I was like, Carrie, you get to go away next week, the very first thing is that I would do a complete and full inventory of all of my regular travel / Disney travel items.
But what's in the bin? Like, is it clothes in the bin?
No, just stuff like my Disney umbrellas, maybe some pin lanyards, some things I might bring for certain times of the year. Like, I have Halloween stuff in there, so if I wanted my Halloween like treat bag that I have, like I have one that's
have seasonal stuff.
Yeah, like my lanyards that light up. You know, you buy the Christmas lanyards and the Halloween lanyards. Mm-hmm. I've got them in there. Just stuff and just general stuff for travel. Like, it's all in there. So I would do a full inventory of that to do my checks and balances to make sure that everything was where it needed to be. Maybe some things over the last little while have not made it back there. I would probably pull everything together and bring it to an inventory check. That's what I would do first. Since you asked.
But these are kind of like accessories and things like that you need to take with you. These aren't your clothes. No,
not my clothes. Just other stuff. Like say I have a knapsack that I always use at Disney, or one of the string bags, like the ones that you like, the square bags with the strings. Like, I have some of them. If there's anything that I regularly pack like that's not clothes, it pretty much is in this bin.
It goes in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. Okay. And then what about your clothes and how you decide to pack? Because you write a list of that stuff. Yeah, so because I travel very lightly, Nobody can see me eye rolling right now. So because I drive, I pack light. I plan everything. But you're talking about an umbrella, and yet you pack light. Like, who puts an umbrella? Like, who? Anyway, I don't have room in my suitcase for an umbrella, but you have room in your suitcase for an umbrella. But go on. Okay. So I write out I get all of my clothes. So this is what I do early. So the way that I work is that I will pack and do everything early, because generally you also have certain clothes that you just wear on your Disney trips, like certain favorite shirts or things like that, or jackets or hoodies or whatever. So a week or so before, I'll get all of my stuff like washed and together, and I'll put in my Disney room, my office, I'll pile everything up. So I'll pile up all the things that I'm thinking of wearing, making sure it's all there, everything's all good to go. And then I decide
how I'm going to wear things. So I don't stick to it, but I will get a notepad and I will write down outfits. So if I was going for so many days, I would write all of the outfits out and I would kind of match them all together. Possibilities, like, if I'm wearing bottoms, like, they'll match with a number of things. So it's not like I have to be like, oh, this outfit has to be this outfit. I have all of my bottoms, all of my tops, and then I kind of coordinate and think like how they could all work together depending on how I wear them. So I know you like to wake up and decide, oh, what am I going to wear? I don't know what to wear. What do I feel today?
It depends how I'm feeling when I wake up.
Right. But I'm not saying that Monday I'm wearing this, Tuesday I'm wearing this, Wednesday I'm wearing this, but I've made sure that everything, there's like a Royal Rumble and my cat's going on behind me. I make sure that everything that I've brought kind of could work together so that I really need no more than what I have. So that's how I manage to pack light, because I just bring what I need and I make sure they mix and match
Right.
And so that's so I'll do that early and I'll have that all set out like a week.
7 days.
It depends like how far. Yeah, like it depends if my timing. I'll do it as early as I can if I've got the time to do it. So I like to do that early. So I'll pack all that up and then that's kind of just sitting and waiting for when I actually pack, and then it makes it into I stack it. Like I have it on a dresser and like I'll stack it all up. And then between then and the trip, usually like a night or two before the trip, I'll pack, like real pack, and bring all the other stuff in that. So
you leave it out, so it's not you're not putting it in the suitcase so that you can think about it. Yeah. If
you put something, the cats sleep in this. Like when you take the suitcase out, the cats sleep in it until it's time for you to pack. So if you do put stuff in the suitcase, you have to zip it all up. So I stack it up, and then I don't pack until I'm ready to pack, and I'm gonna zip it up or at least close the lid. And what am I like? Who am I kidding? These cats, I gotta zip it up because they'll flip it open and lay in it. I'm sure.
Okay, so you've got your stuff out, and just say it's 7 days in advance. You pull all your clothes together. You've got your outfits. You've written it down. You've got them all stacked, and then you leave them there, and then you actually put them in your suitcase like the night before. Mm-hmm. So that in case you change your mind or something happens during the week. Yeah,
there's usually no changing mind. No, I don't usually change my mind. I just pack it up. Like I do this all the time. And I only have so many things that I like to wear, so I just okay. It's not too hard. So for me, the things that I worry about mostly. So between that point and leaving. Like, I usually obsess about the things that I'm really afraid that I might leave at home that I can't leave at home. That's critical. Right. Contact lenses, my glasses. A big thing that I always freak out that I'm going to forget is my laptop cord. Like, if I brought my laptop because I think I'm going to work, which I usually always bring my laptop. Like, could you imagine going somewhere, not having your cord, and then 10 hours later, when your battery's dead, trying to find how to get a Lenovo power cord. So I worry about stuff like that. So that's what I do. I won't make a list of anything else other than the things I really don't want to forget. So I'll have that, like my checklist will be that, because I'm sort of the same. If I'm missing something that I could just buy, then whatever, you can just buy it. But you don't want to be left with it. Even like shoes, like I have, I wouldn't just go out and buy a pair of shoes and wear them. Like, I don't think anybody should if you're going to Walt Disney World to wear new
agreed.
shoes.
You never want new shoes.
But I worry about my shoes. I worry about my contacts and things like that. My cords, all my cords. So that's kind of what I obsess about before that I'm afraid I'm going to leave.
So then how do you make sure you don't? Like, so when you're obsessing about, like, what do you do to make sure that you don't? And why don't you just set them aside with your clothes?
Well, because I'm using them. Like, I'll use them to the last minute, right? Like, I'll charge my phones. I'll have my laptop plugged in. So right. I don't know. What I'll do usually, like with the cords and things like that, like, even if I don't want to pack them till the minute I'm leaving, like before I'm leaving, like I'll put them somewhere where I won't forget them. Like I'd put them on top of my shoes, or I'd put them on top. I'd put my purse on the stove or on somewhere weird where I have to look where the heck's my purse, and then everything else will be there too, right? Like I'll put all the stuff, or late at night if I'm running around before I go to bed, like the things I don't want to miss, I will put them all into one spot, and then in the morning put it all in, because I'm worried like if I'm a little scattered and I put bits and pieces here and there that I could still forget something.
And are you scattered the morning of, like when you're leaving? No. Do you feel scattered or no?
No. I make my list of these things I don't want to forget. And yeah, I keep them. I really deal with them all at once because I don't want to be like, oh, did I do that? And then get there and realize like my shoes are in the room upstairs. My shoes I was planning on wearing most of the time or whatever. So
right.
Things like that. So that's my little wonky thing. And the other thing that's kind of weird for me before I'm traveling is I'm the worst for waiting till the last minute to get like US dollars. I was trying to think of things that are like different from everybody, like that might be different from how other people plan or want like weird things about their rituals. But I do this all the time, and I like it drives me bananas. But I never fix it. Like I always carry US cash. Like I'm not just bring all my credit cards. Like I always have to have a certain amount of cash with me. That's just what I do. And like there's been times where my boss is like, hey, you want to go for lunch? I'm like, can you swing me by the bank first? Because I'm leaving for Disney tomorrow and I need to get some cash. I've done that a few times. So yeah, that's my weird thing. I always save that to the last minute.
You're always, yeah. And I don't actually worry about US cash because then I just go to a bank machine when I'm there if I need cash. But I'm more of a credit card, but like I just bring everything on the credit card.
Me too. Like I charge a lot on my card now, but I still like to have, especially when I'm traveling with other people. That where you might be splitting something, or you can it's easy just to pay for to give somebody half of the bill if you guys your friend charges it, so you can just say, okay, here's my half or whatever, and then you're paid up. So I do travel a lot with friends, so that's true. That's like I'll save my cash to do that, and then I'll charge the things that I buy or whatever. So
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, but those are my things, my pre-trip things.
Your pre-trip rituals.
Yes, I think that are maybe a little weird or different. How about yours?
Well, mine. I'm always last minute, so I'm always, it's part of my back home when I come back home thing, I guess, is that I'm really terrible about emptying my suitcase. So if possible, really 9 times out of 10, when I get home, the only thing that comes out of my suitcase is like my dirty clothes. So if I've done laundry while I'm there, then nothing comes out. But so I'll take the laundry. I have like a little Mickey Mouse laundry bag that I put my dirty clothes in while I'm there all week. And then I just grab that bag and take it out. But, for me, I think 7 days in advance, I'm not even thinking about it. Usually for me, if we're on, say a 7 a.m. flight Saturday morning, I am packing at 9 o'clock Friday night and I'm just throwing stuff in. So for me, yes, there's the usual, there's certain shoes I like to bring, certain, pants or shorts or whatever that I'm bringing. I have my toiletry bag stays packed all times. So that I never even bother unpacking because why bother? So that kind of stuff always just stays packed. I don't even have to worry about it. But I think my problem is always I'm always worried about my passport and my Nexus card because I'm always terrified I'm going to leave it at home. And I'm always afraid of the stuff that I can't replace buying there. But I think my big rituals are I take pictures of everything before I leave my house. So I'm one of those people that panics about, I always think, did I lock the door? Did I unplug the curling? All those kind of things. Well, of course I've unplugged the hair straightener. It's probably in my suitcase. But I'm always the one that panics about that stuff. Even when I'm going to work, like when I would drive to work in the morning, I would drive out of my complex and think, I didn't lock the door, or I didn't shut the garage door, or whatever it is. And I'd be 3 blocks away and I'd drive back. So when I'm going to the airport, it's even worse because then I think, did I, do this? Did I do that? So I've learned now, I just take pictures of everything. So I take a picture of the stove is off. Like I take a picture of the dials, or I take a picture of my front door with my hand on the handle to show that I've checked myself that it's locked. And then As soon as I get in the car and I think, did I lock the door? I check my camera for the picture. And then I don't have to worry about it.
You know, it's all good.
You know, so yes, I'm losing my mind, but it's a trick that I've used because it makes me feel better when I'm gone, because sometimes you can be halfway to the airport and then you start stressing and second guessing. Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I put this in my suitcase? There have been times where I'm so pressured and have left it way too last minute that I'm like losing my mind, and I'll take a picture of my suitcase so that when I'm sitting on the plane thinking, oh my gosh, did I put whatever in? I'll open up my phone and see the pictures. So my big things, so that's my suitcase. For my, so my carry-on, which is my like wheelie bag, usually stays pretty packed. So my camera, like my drawstring, my US wallet, because I just keep all of that stuff separate, it just stays packed. And then my camera, when I get home, I take it out, I download the pictures, and then I put it right back in the bag. So, yeah. So the morning of, the only thing I'm throwing in there is my laptop, my charge cord, because I would have needed it. And then I literally have like a Ziploc of spare chargers for everything else that always stays in my wheelie bag. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's like you think if you could just plan a little bit ahead, like do it a day or two in advance, it might not be so stressful.
Well, so I have tried that. I have tried it. And you know what happens? I pack and then I unpack. And then I pack again. And then I unpack again. Because I change my mind. If I do it last minute.
But everything's pretty much left in your suitcase and your carry-on and your...
I know. So it's so, like, what's the point? I'm going to change my mind how many times, blah, blah, blah. So
but
then
what are you changing your mind about? Because you've said that you barely unpack.
It's always the clothes. It's always the clothes. The toiletry bag is the same always regardless. The camera, the batteries, the iPad, like all of that, same regardless. Like that never changes. It's always just the clothes. It's a matter of which t-shirts am I going to bring.
Right.
That's always my issue. Which is crazy because once I get there, I end up buying t-shirts anyway. So that's my big ritual. And my other thing that I always forget, and then it's usually like I go to bed the night before we're leaving, and I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, I didn't do it. Which is, if you use Alamo to rent a car, when you do the check-in, you can do the check-in before you leave home so that you don't have to stop at the desk. You don't have to do anything. You just walk out and get in the car. But in order to do that, you actually have to check in online. I always forget to do that. Always forget to do that. And then it's like, oh, I forgot. That and check in for my flight. So my sister's usually she's really focused on that whole thing. And she's like checking in like right to the minute as soon as it opens up for check-in. I forget. So if I'm flying without her, chances are I have not checked in for my flight.
I'll have to remind you.
Well, I think once when we were there, just the two of us, and you said to me, let's check in for our flights. I didn't know how. Because she usually just checks me in.
Like I have like passport and credit cards and license and things like that all on my like don't forget list. That I pack, like that I make sure that's all in the where it needs to be the night before. But I find before I leave the house, I always do this. The night before I've got it all zipped up, the bags there, the knapsacks on top of the bag, maybe my few things I want to throw in are in that special spot where I can just grab it and throw it in and feel good that it's all there. But when I'm actually leaving the house, the only thing I really do is just check to make sure my passport's there because that's all that really matters.
That's all that really matters. As long as you have that passport and credit card, you can have the time of your life.
I'll put my bag. I'll put my bags in the car, and then I'll unzip my pouch where I should have my passport or whatever. I'll take a look and be like. And sometimes I open it up to make sure it's mine because not somebody else's. I pretty much always do that just in case, even though I've looked at it 10 times in the last 2 weeks probably. I check to make sure that it's mine, but I do check to make sure my passport's there. But at that point when I'm like, beep, beep, I'm ready to go, all I care about is that my passport's there.
Passport.
Like I'm trusting the fact that I've done my regular rituals and I haven't forgotten anything. At that point, it's just like, I got to get out of here and passport, turn on the car, ready to go.
That's it.
The only picture I take a picture of is my license plate, because when I go into the Park and Fly, I can't never remember my license plate number to enter it into the Park and Fly machine.
What do you mean? You don't know your own license plate number?
I forget it sometimes.
How do you not know your license?
Because I only need to know it when I go to the Park and Fly.
Don't you need to know it different? Like, how do you
No, you don't need to know your license plate number.
I didn't know that about you. Yes, because you park at the Park and Fly. That's right. And you need to give them your license.
Like my car can autopilot to the Park and Fly, but once I'm in, my car gets me there, and then it's like, toots, you're on your own. You got to go in there and punch your license plate in so that they know who you are.
I can't
and check
that. Oh, well, there
if I go through my Google pictures, I probably have like 72 pictures of my license plate, just, every so often. Because
you need
I might need it, yeah.
So those are tips, right? Like taking pictures. So I will say that's one of the things that I rely so heavily on my cell phone for, is to take pictures of things I need to remember. Obviously, leaving the house, all that stuff shows all my lights are off or whatever it is. But I also take pictures when I get to the airport where I parked. So if I drive myself to the airport, I take a picture of wherever I parked, whatever floor number, spot, pillar number, all of that kind of stuff. I always take a picture of it so that I can find my way. Because, of course, when I come back, I'm going to forget where it was.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never do that, and I can never remember.
Yeah.
But I do park and fly, like I do the valet park and fly. But when I park in places like that, like the Buffalo Airport or whatever, I never remember.
It's always a good idea. And I do that actually when I get to Disney. When I get to my room, I take a picture of the room. The room
That's
door
a good idea
number.
Because I never remember that number. But I guess now it's on the app. We can.
It's
but
on
I don't
the
think
app,
to
but
look.
if you can't get into
we're
the app,
old school. We don't think to look on the app.
I never think to look on the app. We're old school. But yeah, and it's definitely something like just say the app's down or you can't get into it or whatever, then it's just easy if you have a picture of your room number, which is funny because somebody was asking me the other day about one of the pictures I posted and said, "Oh, do you remember what room number you had?" And I didn't. And I don't have the picture of it. So it was like the one time I didn't take a picture of the room. Anyway. Yeah. So those are my pre-flight rituals.
Rituals. Sometimes I've worried when I'm on vacation about my keys. Like my car, like my car keys. Like if I brought my house keys or I have my car keys for a different situation. Like not like.
What do you mean in a different situation?
Like if I parked at the Buffalo Park and Fly and I'm not at a valet and I've got my keys with me in my like what if you lost your keys or say left them in a hotel safe or something in California and you're in the Buffalo parking lot all of a sudden and you can't find your keys. I worry about that sometimes.
Do you?
So I'm always like remembering when I'm traveling and I'm about to leave, like I think, oh my goodness, like because I haven't seen my keys since I threw them into the bottom of my knapsack or in a certain section. Right. When I left my car and I'm like, where's my keys? Where's my keys? So often I will put them in. I'll put them in a safe or somewhere just because. Yeah, that's a fear. Like, valet is one thing. They have your keys, but any other time.
But I don't use the safe in the rooms. I know you do. I never. So yeah, I'm telling everybody.
Anybody want to break into Fran's room? Don't worry, she doesn't have any cash on her. So
exactly. But like my keys, I have in my wheelie thing, in my thingamajig. There's like a clip where you clip your keys into it. So I clip my keys to that, so they're always there. I never unclip.
I'll have to look for that feature when I buy a bag next time. And
you should. Luggage. Yeah, because you're looking for new stuff, right? Yeah. That is one of the benefits of a Dooney and Burke. FYI, sidebar conversation here. But a Dooney and Burke purse, inside there is a rope, almost a rope thing or whatever, attached to the purse. And on the end, it's what is it? What do you call it?
I don't know. It's a keychain. Let's say
you're making fun of me, but don't know what it's called. A rope. Whatever it's called.
It's a purse keychain.
It's a purse keychain. But so if you're ever, like, you're digging in the bottom of your purse, as long as you can grab hold of that rope or whatever, then your keys are at the end of it. So it's kind of, anyway. That's how you keep track of your keys in your purse when you have a Dooney and Burke. Okay, right. So that's our pre-trip rituals.
Yep.
What about you get home, Carrie?
I unpack.
You unpack right away?
Yeah. Well, yeah, within a day or so I unpack and I do my laundry. And then it depends on how soon I'm going on a trip again. Sometimes it's only a few weeks away. I might just put some things back into my suitcase, zip it up, and leave it on the bed in my spare room here just to keep it out of the way for a little while so the cats can sleep on it if not in it. But one thing that I do, like, I find I have a lot of things I've bought for friends often. Pins for my pin buddies, or I brought stuff home for people. So I'm usually pretty excited to unpack everything that I've bought, but also if I've bought for friends or whatever, I, maybe take some pictures to show them, or I figure out how, if I'm going to ship it to them or drop it by their house or whatever. So that's kind of fun because I almost always, I'm sure, have.
You're usually bringing something.
Pick stuff up for somebody. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably not too many post-trip rituals. Plan my next trip. Enter my trip details into my trip ledger spreadsheet.
So you have a spreadsheet where you track
a ledger. Yes, a spreadsheet.
I love that. I wish I had one. Now I can't be bothered to start one, but I wish I had one from the beginning when I started going, or even from my 20s or something.
Yeah, I keep track of just the basics at this point. I used to keep track of all, like, I had binders with sleeves, and I would put, like, receipts and things, memories and whatever. And when I had binders of them. I think now those binders are in, like, a big tote that's in my crawl space. So I stopped doing that. I just keep the odd thing that I want to remember. But yeah, I just type the ledger, like, where I went, where I stayed, who I went with. Just some things so that, and then I keep, like, I count them. So I know, like, I have a tally. Like, this is trip number, like, 83 or something. I don't know how many trips are. And I have them coded, like, if it's a Disney trip or Walt Disney World, Disneyland, if it's a Las Vegas trip, if it's a miscellaneous trip, I kind of have them I have a column where I could sort them if I needed to sort them. So I would know, like, if it's trip 1 to 100.
Okay, but then why would you need to sort them? Like, you just said, if I had to sort them, I could sort them. What would be a scenario where you would need to sort them?
Well, maybe I want to sort to see my, like, trips to a specific destination. Because they're in order chronologically, right? So what if I wanted to see how many Disneyland trips there were?
Oh my gosh.
Right? So then I would for sorting purposes, like, there's a lot, like, this is a long list. Like, this is, 20 something years of traveling.
So wait a minute. So you have who you went with. Is it people you shared a room with, or people that you just vacationed with? Do you
both.
Tally both? Oh, okay. Are they in different columns, or are they?
No, that's all one column. It's just to remember who the trip was with.
So I'm in this ledger then.
Yeah, of course you are.
I've made a few appearances in there.
Yep.
It would be interesting to see how many trips we've gone on together.
I could probably.
You could tell us.
I could sort and tell you. Yeah, I could.
You totally could.
But it's good to remember, like, especially if you're, like, trying to dig up a picture or...
Oh, see, you just threw that in there because last week...
If I'm trying to find a picture for a trip, then I can go and say, what year was that? And then go into my Google Photos that's got 10 billion pictures and just go to that year and start looking there. So it's helpful for that.
So Carrie's taking a pot shot because last week we were looking for a picture of something, and the way I sort all my pictures is by trip year and month. And of course I can never remember what year and month I did something specific, so it didn't help us find the picture.
Yeah.
But if I had a trip ledger like you, it would have helped, because it would have been like, oh, it was the time we were staying over at the boardwalk when, blah, 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 when you knocked over the garbage can or whatever it was, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember knocking over the garbage can.
Oh, you did. You don't remember that?
No.
When you came out of the elevator, you turned too quickly. There was a big, I don't even know why I said it, but that one trip, we were coming out of, now you remember, and it was so, and the hotel was so quiet at the time, and it was one of those like brass garbage cans, and it was so loud, and we were howling, because anyway, off topic, but yes.
I still
okay.
remember that.
Yeah, so you come home, you unpack. And
unpack, sort my goodies, distribute my goodies to my friends that I might have, go to work. If I've bought any magnets for my door, I put them on my door. You know, put my pins where they belong. Put things for my collection into the places where they are collected. Yeah. So that's kind of fun. When you're a collector and you bring stuff home for a collection, you can kind of inventory it where it needs to be, stuff like that. And then just start planning my next trip. Nothing too exciting, really.
Yeah, those are good rituals.
Mm-hmm. I think they're probably like everybody else's rituals.
I think so.
Unpack. That's what you're supposed to do when you come home from a trip.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because when I went, I was looking for something the other day, a pair of ears or something. And because I haven't been away in so long, I actually put my suitcase away. Normally, it just lives on the floor of one of like my spare room. And it's weird. It's not there anymore. It's in a closet. And I opened it up and I couldn't believe all the stuff that I still had in it.
That's the fun part, like seeing what you brought home from your trip.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some stuff that you just like my ears or like toiletry bag or like my what are they called? Those bags where you put your clothes in them. The
garment. What are they called?
What are they called? You know what I'm talking about? The packing cubes.
That's it.
That's it. So those things, I have those in there. I have my cinch sack. I have like my travel purse.
But you're also the type of person that's, because you're a non-collector, really, except for now you're collecting Funko Pops.
My Funko Pops.
But that, you'll look through something and you'll be like, oh, a bag of pins I bought. Oh, I forgot I bought those 3 pins. And I would never do that. Like when I get home, I'm like, where's my pins? I mean, look at them. I got to shine. I got to like buff them up. I got to look at them and think about how much I love them. I've got to gaze at them, for a little while. I've got to take pictures of them. I've got to show everybody who doesn't want to see them, my new pins. Like, it's a priority.
Remember the other day when we were gonna do our little photo shoot for our 100th episode, and I was looking for my ears. You would be amazed at the stuff that I found while I was looking for those ears. That is brand new. So I had bought like new cozies for anyway. I'll dig them out and show you. But yes, so I tend to leave stuff in my suitcase. It does happen.
To me, that says you're not too, like, you're excited when you buy it, but then you're not excited for when you get home.
Well, or then I've forgotten about them, because that happens too,
why
right?
Were you... Okay.
Right? That happens too. Like I unpack, so I take the dirty clothes out, the laundry goes, and then, that's pretty much it. And my shoes, because, if I need to wear my shoes at home. Because it's usually the same pair of shoes. But my big rituals when I get home are from my wheelie carry-on bag that has my laptop. So obviously my laptop and all that stuff has to come out. But it's more about downloading all my pictures and then backing them up. So I make 2 copies of them. And I download all of those. And then it's time to start planning the next one. And then I check my credit card statement. And see how much damage was done while I was away.
All the things you bought are upstairs in your luggage going, hello, what about me?
Yeah, they're all up there, and I'm looking at my credit card bill going, what on earth did I buy?
$163 at Mouse Gears. What did I buy there?
I know. I can't wait till I can do some more shopping. But really, that's probably the extent of I do like to look at my credit card statement as soon as I get home because if it's much longer than that, then I've completely forgotten what I was buying. So it's important that I do it kind of online. I have to reconcile in my brain what I spent. So I do it online before the statement comes in. So how are we going to do when it's time to go back? I think I'm going to be a bit of a basket case.
I think you are too. Like, in a good situation, you can't figure out what T-shirts to pack. What are you going to pack for the most epic return?
Like, am I
to home?
Like, am I going to be stressed? What am I going to wear to the Magic Kingdom on day one? And probably. It's kind of like, remember when we were going to Galaxy's Edge for the first time, and I was stressing about what T-shirt to wear because I knew that all the pictures of me in Galaxy's Edge for the very first time, I wanted to make sure that my T-shirt was okay for it.
Oh,
it was
goodness. because years down the road you're gonna look at those pictures and that's what you're gonna be saying, like,
I'm gonna say
dang
that was
I wish I would have wore a better shirt that day. And it doesn't. You would have wore a Star Wars shirt no matter what. It's not even like, oh, why did I wear that floral print from Target instead of a Star Wars shirt? You're gonna be like, oh.
There was never a doubt that I was wearing a Star Wars shirt.
I wish I would have worn one of my other 15 Star Wars shirts. The regret I have.
I know. And you know what's hilarious? I can't even remember now what shirt I wore. I'd have to go look at the pictures to see.
Well.
But there are good pictures of it. Anyway, so I'm hopeful that helps people.
Feel sorry for us.
Well, I think it's good to get our brains thinking, Carrie.
That's right.
Of what it's going to be like to go.
Well, we were talking about what we were going to do when we got there. What was our first day in the parks going to look like? And we thought, for goodness sakes, we don't even know if we're going to make it there.
I know, because we don't even know
we're going to be standing in the parks. We're going to be wearing, we're going to have polka dot green pants on and a fluorescent flowered shirt on because we couldn't plan. We didn't know what we were so confused.
We're so out of sorts.
Yep. We're not going to have any pictures because we forgot our cords at home.
We can't charge our cameras or our cords or anything. Oh, that's what I was looking for, was my little tripod. I was looking for it the other day when we were going to take our pictures, and that's what I was in my suitcase for. Because that just lives in my suitcase too. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it won't be long, and we'll be figuring it out soon. I think I'm a little wondering though about when I get to the airport. Has anything changed at the airports with the way people are going through security?
No idea.
I don't know. I did renew my Nexus. I'm ready to go.
Soon too.
Ready to go. Anyway, well, Carrie, I think it was a good one. Okay, so now it's time for your pixie dust, Carrie.
Yep. Well,
what brought you joy this week?
My pixie dust this week was that I received a postcard in the mail from my friend Anna.
Oh, you did?
And I love getting mail. Oh, when I'm expecting mail, I check the mail 5 times a day.
Come on. You said it on the podcast that you love mail.
So maybe Anna was listening. Or maybe she just knows because I tell everybody, I try to shake everybody down to send me a postcard if they travel anywhere. But she sent me a postcard, and the back of the postcard is plastered with Muppet stickers. So it's like a postcard, which made me excited. And then when I flipped it over, because I love postcards and I love getting mail, and then I flip it over and it's covered with awesome Muppet stickers. So it made my day. And
That's nice.
and I look at it since, and it carries on. I'm so excited.
That was awesome.
Kept it at my desk to remind me.
That was very nice. So I know, because she did hear it on the podcast, how much you liked postcards, because she reached out to me after that podcast episode to say, hey, you got Carrie's address? I'm going to send her a postcard.
I was so excited. So
yes.
That was my pixie dust. Yippee! What was your pixie dust?
Awesome. My pixie dust, not to be too cheesy, was seeing you. So we had, not seeing you here like this, but we actually got together this week, and because we wanted a new picture to go inside the logo for the 100th episode. So you and I got together to take some pictures to see if we could at least get our faces to be in the same light and whatever. And we had a ball, and it was fun, and I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time. And I mean, we laugh every week on the podcast, but let me just say that it was a riot. It was a lot of fun.
We giggled quite a bit.
We did. And I think we took 200 pictures, and we might have 2 or 3 that are usable because we also, sat down to try and record our intro and outro, and I may have been laughing today trying to string it together, just listening to the outtakes. It was a lot of fun. So it was a good laugh. It was a good giggle.
Yes. Well, that's nice.
Yeah. It's important to giggle.
Yeah, giggling in person is better than giggling over Zoom. Yes, but I'll take whatever. We'll take exactly. It was nice to giggle in person.
It was. So that was my pixie dust. So another good week. Cool. Well, Carrie, this was fun as always, and thank you again for joining me today.
Anytime, pal. You're stuck with me now.
Absolutely. And again, remember to everybody, send us in a note, a voice clip or whatever. And if you can, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps Apple know to suggest us to other listeners and maybe recommend our podcast to others. So that would be great. Okay. Well, thanks again. And until next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.